Previously on Riders of the Apocalypse.
I can't believe this.
Everything
it's
okay.
This podcast is falling down around us, and you're
Darlene. All right, we're gonna call it a night. Everyone, thank you.
Oh,
this has been
Darlene. It's
Riders
okay.
of
You don't have to turn the lights
Failure.
On.
Episode 1.
Really?
So, everyone have a great evening, and I bid you a fond adieu.
Class of 1999. The ultimate, what is it? The old, god damn it. All right, I'll do it again. Ready and go. Take two.
No, I love the takes.
The ultimate teaching machine, out of control.
Start that one again.
The ultimate teaching machine, out of control. Class of 1999. Thanks a lot for coming back with us, everybody. Welcome to Riders of the Apocalypse. Jason and I here have just gotten done watching Class of 1999. For a little, do you want me to do a little synopsis?
What?
We can actually play the music.
Oh, we can actually have that in the background.
Yeah.
I don't have to do that. I was getting out of
Technology.
breath. I was getting out of breath, man.
Well, don't worry.
Awesome.
Don't worry.
Right.
We won't.
So I don't have to. I was going to do that the whole podcast.
Oh my god! I would almost pay you $5 to do that. Well, I just continually like fill the air with IMDb facts.
All our listeners would love that.
So
you listeners, actually, I should say listener.
So far, right
so
now,
good.
that's true.
Yeah.
At the moment.
So far, so
live,
good. So what?
There are only 4 ears listening to this right now. We're the first. Everything that's coming out of our mouths.
God, you just blew my fucking mind, B-Dog. Blew my mind.
No one's ever said those things before.
Oh God.
We are Riders of the Apocalypse.
We are.
Across the table from me is Jason.
Hey.
And
Brian.
Brian's here too. So we put ourselves through the Class of 1999. I was a virgin to that film. Jason was a reacquainted partner to this film.
I had a long time ago made my acquaintance with Class of 1999. It was probably right around 1990 or 91 that I actually saw the movie when it came out.
Did you go to the theater?
I can't. I'm trying to think back, and I either saw it in the theater or I rented it like right when it came out because I was on board. Let's just say when I saw the trailer, I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna watch that.
Okay,
I'm not gonna have a problem watching that one."
Right. Okay.
So it's definitely. I know I rented it, and I think I went to the theater and watched it, and then rented it also.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. But I'd never rewatched it, so this was the first rewatch. I'd say 20 years.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
In
so sometimes when that much time passes, that's almost like you really do have to get to know it again.
It was a good amount of time because it was like watching a new movie. Yeah. Although I was recognizing parts. But it was just as good as I remembered and a little bit better.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah, man. Brian, your take on it, your inaugural watch of Class of 1999, man. Go ahead, just throw it at me.
Just give it to me.
Honest, just 1 to 10 and go.
And go. I'm not going to do a rating system, but what I will do is talk about I was entertained by the film, and so I had fun watching it. I had fun with the second half, more of the second half than the first half. Mm-hmm. And we can get into this a little bit, but it almost felt like there was 2 different movies there. It was a different kind of movie up front there.
That's true.
Had to give us the world,
That's true.
They didn't bother with establishing too much. They're like, look, this is what's happening.
You thought it could be either.
Here's a nice map.
Yeah. It could either be. Is it Lean on Me? I don't know. It could either be, a good, heartfelt, teacher does the right thing kind of movie. At the beginning, it was kind of that. And yeah,
are these three?
And then switched over to Road Warrior / Terminator. I would say
exactly. So. Yeah, the entire second half of it was a chase,
which I love.
And a quick plot summary via IMDb: robot teachers have been secretly placed in the schools where students have run riot. Because in the world of 1999, there are several places where crime is out of control, and so they still have high schools in these. Is it?
There's zones, and there's free zones or something,
right? There. Is it free fire zones?
Free fire zones. The cops won't even go in there.
No, there are no-go places. Apparently. But apparently these schools still have some kind of administration. There's a principal.
Yeah.
There are teachers. But they're so desperate that they turn to a company that makes teacher bots.
Yep.
So the robot teachers have been secretly placed in the schools where the students have run riot. The teachers do a good job of controlling the unruly youngsters until they
start tearing them apart.
They go too far. And some students get suspicious.
Oh, okay. So that's when we get the Scooby-Doo mystery kind of unravels. It was the teachers doing it all along.
And I would have won that recess, too, if it weren't for you meddling kids.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as it turns out, sometimes we're treated to... well, who's our main character?
Okay. All right. So it's Cody Coe or whatever. We were having Cody Culp, but you don't really hear the P. It's just you hear the Cody Cole. Anyways, played by Bradley Gregg.
He gets out of some kind of prison at the beginning of the movie.
I think I read that this was like his only starring role.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's very recognizable. He's interchangeable to me with, and listen, Bradley, if you're still out there, please don't take offense. But to me, it was like interchangeable with, Corey Feldman.
Oh,
you know, because the hair and the punk rock, he just kind of reminded me of a mid to late 80s Corey Feldman.
Yeah, definitely.
But
I wonder if that's what they were trying to go for.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he's been in a few other things. He was in Stand By Me, Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Oh, shit, he was in Stand By Me.
Yeah, and he was also in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Oh, man.
He was one
my
of
favorite.
I'm
kidding.
My favorite.
Do not. That one's no.
That wasn't your favorite?
It's okay.
What was your favorite indie movie? The first one?
Okay, we're going there.
The first one was the best.
I love all of them. I mean, not the Crystal Skulls. It's not real.
Okay.
Temple of Doom, man.
You know?
Temple of Doom. I can't, and then I had to drop the mic and walk away. Temple of Doom.
I hear that sometimes. I have no problem with it either. It's just, it's interesting.
Here's the thing with me, and I know and I'm kind of, you don't have to forgive me for you don't have to get it or anything, but
right.
I'm unabashedly.
Tell him, Jason.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking.
You know what I mean? Listen.
I'm a Temple of Doom guy. I'm I don't like Poltergeist 2 more than Poltergeist 1. Okay. Don't say that. But I love Poltergeist 2. I'm okay with the sequels. Mm-hmm. And so
there's many great sequels out there.
The trashier and maybe the less artistic value, sometimes, Jason, you got me. You got me with trash.
Okay.
And so I just love, give me a little bit of practical effects and a halfway decent story.
There you go.
And I'm kind of on board.
Right.
Maybe
we were talking about this earlier. Practical effects. I think we had this conversation last night where there is still kind of, it hasn't crossed that uncanny valley yet. But I also... Yeah, we were talking about how great special effects were back in the day because they were all practical. They had to be filmed in front of the camera. Ever so often, they would kind of rotoscope or edit things in. But you could tell that they were working on a cool special effect. And even at a young age, when I was seeing movies like this, even the big budget stuff, Raiders of the Lost Ark, all that kind of, the movies that we're talking about, even when I could tell it was an effect, it was still like, that looks cool as hell.
Yeah.
There's a visceral reaction when something real is interacted with. And you were getting to this point last night about some good horror movies and stuff like that.
Well, let's just take Tom Savini real quick.
Okay.
If we're going to go down this road. So
all right.
That, when we talked about this, exactly the same thing last night. When you get it's different feel and everything involved. When you get a real knife or weapon or something going into actual tissue, whether it's a close up of a stomach or something, and it's the knife's going in and cutting into, rather than doing it all digitally. It's just you feel that because it's something that's physically really happening. I still have a separation as good as CGI has gotten, and I'm not anti CGI, but I think blending them both. You need that practical. You need that puppet still.
Right.
You know, and this movie is a great example. It was a later. It was released in 1990, but it was actually made in 1988.
Okay.
I read that. So.
All right. So maybe that's a little responsible for some of the dating of it,
right?
Because it seems a little dated. I was surprised,
but I liked the dating of it too. But it did seem older than a 1990 movie, for sure.
Yes, it did.
But man, I mean, just this movie gave you everything you want if you like the practical. And then the stop motion too, dude. That's fun too.
Yeah,
and that looks fake as hell. But there's something about that, and that's probably nostalgia, right there. That we people our age still like.
But part of it again, like especially when we were younger, and even moviegoers at the time, part of the fun of those effects was, So part of the fun of those effects was seeing something that had been pulled off, kind of.
Yeah.
So the original Terminator has stop motion photography in it. You know, like at one point where the robot's falling. Okay. And so Empire Strikes Back has stop motion the AT-ATs, and it's like those look amazing.
Yeah.
So it's like that still holds up.
But if you watch Terminator now, it looks kind of as clunky as this one did.
Yeah.
Towards the end. I mean, and I think it's a beautiful thing. I mean, there's definitely a patina in that look too. But yeah, there's nothing like. We were talking about RoboCop, the original RoboCop. When those squibs are going off, and it's actually an explosion that's, if you don't know, a squib is a pack of a blood pack or something with basically a firecracker in it that the actor sticks on themselves, and it blows out, and that's where you get the hole and the tear. So
during like a gunfight,
when a bullet is supposed to hit, so they have these squibs that go off like explosions, and when you see, there's a difference between just painting, in post-production or something, painting a blood splatter coming out from a gunfire, rather than having the actor physically, their shirt kind of blows open and blood and chunks of flesh come out. Bottom line, you always have to use squibs in gunshots, even nowadays. You should. If you don't, then you kind of lose me.
Okay.
And on that note, all right, I'm going to let us all pause for a moment and hear from our sponsors. Actually, Brian, do you want? Is that?
Yeah. Hey guys, this is Brian from Riders of the Apocalypse, and I wanted to take a break to tell you about one of our many sponsors here on the show. In fact, we've got a way for you to get a quick free meal. Just go to brownbag.com/Riders of the Apocalypse and use the promo code RIDERSAF for you to get 5% off your first free meal from Brown Bag. Do you like to come home and make meals that are mailed to you in a box that include pre-wrapped things that are about 3 times as expensive as what you might get at a grocery store if you weren't lazy or have more money than sense? Just so that you can proudly bother your coworkers the next day by saying, "Hey, do you guys like pork loins with pan-seared pea snaps? I do. I just made it last night. Where are you going?" Well, you pretentious fuck, you can use promo code RIDERSAF and get 3.5% off of one of those meals and, I don't know, enjoy burning your money. Now back to the show. So talking about how, the visceral feeling of seeing a special effect that's practical, that is actually in front of the camera and something's being interacted with, whether it be blood flying or something getting pulled apart, like one of my favorite scenes. This movie had, there was a top 3 definitely in there for me, parts to the movie.
Yep.
One of mine, and we can just trade off, and we didn't even have to make a top 3 or anything. But my first standout moment was where the kids were trying to hide from the older school teacher, Terminator bot. Mm-hmm. And by the way, these teaching androids were actually designed as military kill bots, right?
Yeah.
And so
we get to find that out a little later on.
Yeah.
But, yep.
And so the administration,
they're basically military weapons that they
dressed up as teachers.
Take care of our kids, Yeah.
We've got the history teacher, an older...
It can't get any worse. than it already is. We've got
let's try Terminator.
Stormtroopers in towers guarding the school that's wrapped in razor wire.
Which still blows me away. It's
welcome to algebra.
That's right. The world that we're in. This is
kids. If you'll just sit down and break open your books with your calculators, we'll need a graphing calculator for this class.
It's a violent, war-torn wasteland.
Yeah.
So one of the top.
It's amazing.
One of the original top moments for me was when the kids are hiding from one of the murderous killbots that's already, committed its first murder, and now they're just on the rampage.
Yeah.
And so this killbot, played by the older history professor robot, which I think is outside of some of the other luminaries that are in this film, John P. Ryan, a veteran actor of movies such as these and TV, and so this killbot basically gets.
I think he might be. He's real close to my favorite teacher killbot.
Oh, okay.
All right. He's you can't beat Pam. But anyways, go ahead. He's really good.
Yeah. He pulls this kid through a wall. It's the thing where the kid's like, I got to get out of here, man, or something like that. And then the two arms come through the wall on either side of the kid. He grabs the kid by the hips and pulls him through.
Pulls him forward through. Breaking him in half backwards. And so it is.
You see the collapse of the spine.
His whole spine just crunch, and then he's in two chunk pieces.
Right.
On
the other kid
side.
runs up.
He's literally torn in half.
He just got dragged through, and the kid is in half on the floor. And it was like, yes.
Yeah, and the crowd goes wild.
Finally, and it's just like you're leading me down a weird path here, and you gave me something to hold on to.
See, and that's all you need.
It's a roller coaster ride.
Mark. He directed another classic movie, Commando. You ever heard of it?
I have.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think his last name.
Mm-hmm. A scrappy young actor.
Commando, dude. So we knew going in that a guy that does Commando, well, he's going to probably deliver the goods, and he does.
And Commando came before this film.
Way before. Yeah, Commando was like 84, I think. But yeah. Same director. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Mark, for not pulling any punches, really, and
treating us like adults.
Yeah, it's a rated R movie. I paid admission. I want to see the kid broken in half, pulled through the wall.
And this was one of the things that really disappointed us about Rolling Vengeance.
I know. We wanted the head to explode at least once. Nothing happened.
Somebody gets chewed up by the drill that's in front of that thing.
No, nothing touched that drill.
Nothing touched that drill. Except for he kind of threatened the girlfriend near the end.
Yeah, just he got close to her.
Yeah.
But no. We don't have to go there because we've already talked. But yeah, this one delivers. It's not super gory.
Do you have another standout moment that you'd like to discuss?
Absolutely. There are actually, I'm pretty sure there is two really good just punch through the chest or the back of someone's torso and just tearing the heart out.
Right.
It just punches all the way through. That's like an 80s staple. They did that in multiple movies. One of them being Friday the 13th, I think, part 6, maybe. Yeah, where Jason lives. He pulls the heart out at the beginning.
Oh, man.
One of the guys, him and Tommy are digging up the grave of Jason. Anyways,
that's right.
But there's a lot of heart pulling out scenes in 80s movies. This one included, I think, 2 really good ones. They just punch through, and there's just meat and chunks. You don't even know if it's a heart. It might be a liver, but something. The android punched through a kid or a teacher, and you've got the heart, just bloody, and it's just like you just don't want that to happen, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah, they had some great moments of when the arms were coming off to expose weapons.
Oh yeah, the melting.
Melting skin or the cut skin.
When Pam Grier's hand melts, that's a beautiful scene.
Right.
Because it's just her. She's in the full shot. It's lit perfectly, kind of dark and some blue lights and stuff, and it's amazing. Her hand you can clearly see. I hate when the movies that either make it too dark you can't see, or they probably didn't have enough money to make the effect stand out. But this one's like, we're going to show you this, and it's going to look amazing. And you clearly see her hand melting into this robot giant Bic lighter.
Yeah,
what it was.
she has a flamethrower.
Right.
Yeah, they all had specialized weapons in their arm. The gym teacher had a rocket launcher.
That thing.
It did the whole rotating, and some of the parts moved
so
on
perfect.
it. Yeah, fun stuff.
Just
fun. And the older history teacher bot had a grabber arm with
the drill.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's another really good scene we get to see. I would have liked a little more of the drill passing through into the skull.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so he grabs one student by the head and with this grabber arm thing that's got the 3 tripod pincher thing, and then we realize, much to the character's chagrin, that a drill is in the middle of that thing and starts and everybody's like, no,
and it seems like that drill's going again real slow.
It is,
and you're just like, get the guy off of him. The drill's gonna hit his cling, 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 and then it just chunks of skin and bone, and he's blood pouring out. And he's like, God, make it stop! And make it stop. Some great.
That was another great standout scene.
The rocket launchers all throughout the movie. There, we had a law. We had a couple because we had some gang wars that were fun to watch. That was pretty good.
Yeah,
that the teachers were kind of creating to. Oh, we'll just pit them against each other. I mean.
Divide and conquer. Let's get rid of these kids. Yeah. So they wanted to drain the swamp, and Stacy Keach plays. Stacy Keach plays the I guess the owner, the leader of this science tech team that makes these murder bots. And he has successfully, sold them to the school system. And the principal of this school is
he's
Malcolm McDowell.
Oh my goodness!
Right. And so he sells Malcolm McDowell. It's like, oh, my teacher bots will be great. But then,
I don't care who you are. If you can sell Malcolm McDowell on anything, especially 3 cybernetic killbot teachers, then you got something there.
Oh, yeah.
If you that's like selling a ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves. Rest in peace, Crystal.
Yeah. So...
No, it's just all around the cast that they were able to pull, and just to see them even in moments of the film throughout. It's just it keeps you there.
Yeah, there's so many people in this.
It's
fucking movie.
so fucking fun. And this one's more fun than I thought it would be after over 10 years of having seen it.
Oh, okay. My first time having seen it, just completely blown away by whoever's walking on screen and like, what? And Stacy Keach is, he's playing this, he seems kind of strange. He's got a white rat tail.
He seems kind of strange. There's a little sarcasm there. Oh my God.
He has white albino
Brian,
contacts.
The guy
he's supposed to be an albino.
Is an albino rat tail droid salesman.
Right. And we're going for an albino look, but what I see is Stacy Keach in contacts and a white wig with a rat tail. And it's just great.
So fun fact I read, dude.
Yes.
Apparently, Stacy Keach, the whole look
was
his idea.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen.
That's what I read.
You're paying for. You're paying for that.
He comes
big
to
level.
Imagine him meeting with Mark. Mark's trying to get the crew together. He's like doing the readings and stuff, and Stacy's like, "Hey man, this is a great script. I've got a couple of ideas if you don't mind me just kind of going with it." And Mark's like, "Sure, Stacy, tell me. I mean, you're a veteran. You've been doing this longer than I have. Tell me what you got." Well, I tell you what, I don't want to tell you. Can I just wear it in, and then you can just see if you like it? Sure.
Okay, surprise us.
He comes walking in. Mark's like, Stacy, you have a white rat tail.
Well, guys, what do you think? Yeah, I can see it now. Like it's like, he's 3 minutes late. What's going on? It's not like him. The door opens.
To wardrobe now. Like you
imagine, like they're in the meeting. It's like we're waiting on Stacy Keach. He said he was going to show up with this new look.
Yeah.
And then the door opens. He walks in. Well, what do you think, guys? Huh?
The whole room's just like, you can hear just back in the back. Everybody's speechless for a moment. Then Mark, Stacy.
Yeah.
Can I talk to you for a second?
Sure, buddy.
Just right over here. You folks take a break. Take 5. And Stacy.
Sure. What do you need, man?
Are you okay, buddy?
You're astounded, huh?
But
yeah,
no, is everything okay at home? Like everything's going. You're not. You're not drinking again, are you?
What? No, man.
Well, you look.
No, I just thought
You just look like. What's wrong? Like this, you've got a white rat tail and albino eyes.
This is the character, man. This is what I've been working on.
It's just so distracting, though, man. Do you really want to do this? I mean, I'll let you do it, dude. You're Stacy Keach. I'm gonna give you free rein.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. I'm clearly an albino mad scientist.
Right. Okay. You know what, Stacy? I'm going to trust my gut on this. Well, I'm not going to trust my gut. I'm actually going to just trust you. My gut's telling me this is a terrible idea. Anyways, all right, we're back on board. Listen, but
all right, let's do this.
If this movie doesn't make the money back,
it's your fault.
We're going to have a
Thanks
talk.
a lot, buddy.
All right. And on that note, another word from our sponsor.
Hey guys, it's Brian from Riders of the Apocalypse. But real quick, I wanted to remind our older listeners about the format change that's coming up. And our new listeners, guess what? We're making a hard left turn here, but I think it's one you're going to like. From now on, Riders of the Apocalypse is going to be all about Zoroastrian scream singing. And I think that you're going to like it. So make sure that you keep it dialed in. And I don't know. Good luck.
Pleasant surprise because I had forgotten most of it. So definite thumbs up. It's got a little even rewatchability, I would say, too. Like
sure.
So a couple of things though. These little tidbits.
A lot of folks popping up in this thing.
Absolutely. A young Rose McGowan. So she's not even credited. But she's the girl outside Langford's office.
So Rose McGowan is also in this turkey.
Yeah. For those of you who may be unfortunate enough to not know who that is, I'll just tell you she's in some gems like Planet Terror.
Right.
Robert Rodriguez, amazing. She's in Death Proof. Maybe it might be Death Proof. Well, she was in both. She's in both of them. Yeah, awesome.
She played two different characters,
and that's all I need. So that's a neat thing.
Yeah, that was a fun discovery that Rose McGowan is an extra in this film.
Yeah.
So yeah,
quite funny.
Almost on the same level as realizing that Keira Knightley is in episode 1.
Yeah,
she is.
Yeah,
she plays one of the handmaidens and shit. It's great. So,
awesome stuff.
Almost the same level.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Class of 1999.
Yeah, episode 1. It's kind of
Star Wars. Well, dude, Brian, I before we wrap it up, man, I want to hear. So I know your favorite. Check me if I'm wrong. Your favorite part in this film was the wonderful climactic ending where the PE teacher.
The PE teacher Killbot is the one
torn apart or stretched apart.
Yeah. So he has been destroyed to the point he's chasing him down, but they've managed to inflict enough damage where he is now, much like another famous franchise, a half-exposed cyborg robot thing that's wearing half of its skin, is chasing kids down hallways, and then they finally come to the climax where he gets impaled by a forklift.
It's a forklift.
Yes.
Yeah. And he almost, our hero, whatever in this film, almost forklift penetrates his girlfriend who is fighting with the droid. We almost thought, like, he's thinking
she's an acceptable loss.
I thought she was speared on it.
Right.
When he backed up with it and had the teacher clearly impaled on it. On the lift,
and the girlfriend is coming along for the ride somehow.
Yeah.
Was the robot holding on to her? Maybe was that
the only thing I couldn't really see, but I just assumed that the droid had her, holding on to her.
Right.
But it looked like she was on the other, lift thing. But
and then she falls off.
Right. And then we get the wonderful. Almost slow motion, just pull. So what
happens is, I think, like the robot's struggling to get off the thing, but the kid that's behind the wheel grabs a chain that is suspended from the ceiling, wraps it around the robot's neck, and then starts stretching it with the fork loader, the front lifter thing, and this thing just dies. This like straining. It's just like
we found out one thing I forgot to mention. We actually found out that androids do feel pain.
I guess so, because there was another one that the Pam Grier robot got.
There you go,
on
PK
fire.
Dick.
Okay, Dick. You can rest easy.
Yeah.
Knowing that
they do feel pain, and maybe they dream. We don't know if they dream.
What if it looked at the camera while it was getting pulled apart right before it dies, and it goes, "Will I dream?" and then snap. It just.
We even heard a terrifying scream of pain from when Pam Grier's robot body blows up. When she gets caught on fire, and
when that killbot goes up in flames,
and she's just like.
Yeah,
like,
I thought for sure that would give us the moment of like, the robot stepping out of the flames,
Yeah.
And then just.
But no, you definitely feel like they're all in pain when they're dying. Yeah. Each one of them. So that was kind of cool.
So the main kid, the hero of our story, who's had a tough life at this point, he makes it out with the girlfriend. I guess she's his girlfriend now, right? I mean,
I would assume that they kind of, after all that, they'd have to go. I was thinking they were right then when they were walking down the steps and had the perfect song come in. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about that. We'll actually, we're going to play that for you.
Play us out.
But when they're walking down the steps, you kind of just assume that they're going to like walk down the road and hit up the nearest like Applebee's, just for like a quick little, maybe an appetizer, maybe a couple of beers, just to get to know each other a little better.
Yeah, exactly. Because we never had a moment where they actually got together where it was like,
it's been too stressful. They've been
running from killbots.
Yeah.
So, but by the rules of most movies like this that were made around this time, there was always like the girl was there to be won somehow, I think, and so he would kiss her at the end or some shit.
Yeah.
And but they didn't bother with that.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, but they didn't need that.
No, they didn't.
No.
But our kids survived, and hopefully, the next day of school is not as traumatic. But at least the gangs now are on the same side. Nothing like a tragedy to pull two groups of people together.
That's right.
Because they're working as a team.
We now have one motivated,
they're going to party together
gang that will now rove the landscape.
Yeah.
As a
You know what? Unit. That might even be the beginnings of true peace.
Yeah, finally.
So, well,
they intended to drain the swamp. Looks like that's what they did.
And it was a
burning the entire school to
wonderful process, and I hope you guys enjoyed the ride as much as we did. And you know what? Next time the ride's going to be even a little crazier. So stick with us. For that one. Right. Brian, what do you think, man?
Jason, thanks for exposing me to this wonderful piece of Americana. I think it's an important piece of movie making history.
Absolutely.
Especially since it came out in 1990. But the very next year, Terminator 2 came out and was like, get the fuck out of the way.
That's why nobody
this is how you do this.
Nobody knows about this movie except for, crazy folks like me that dig through VHS bins and all that stupid shit.
Awesome. Well,
all right. Well, until next time, keep riding.
Next time on Riders of the Apocalypse.
Hey man, look what I found outside. It fell off an army truck.
Oh, shit. For real?
Yeah, it's this big green barrel. Check it out. It says Property Department of the Army in case of emergency call, and then there's a number here.
Dude, you rolled that into my house.
Yeah. You want to take it? I just want to see what's going on. There's a window on top, too.
Dude, get that thing out of here.
Is that a dead person?
Yes.
I'm going to open it.
Jesus Christ.